Hey everybody, Crystal Gamer here, and welcome to my channel and to today's video where we discuss whether or not it is worth it to buy Sims 4 Discover University. We are going to take a brief look at each section from cast to build to buy to the world and finally to gameplay. First up, CAS. And oh, by the way, I have videos out showing all of the CAS items and going over all of the build and buy items that come with the pack. So if you want to see everything the pack has to offer, definitely check out those videos. I'll make sure to link them in the description below and include a link to my Discover University playlist at the end of this video. So okay, CAS. This pack's CAS is predominantly casual. So if you're into casual or feel that we had a bit of a casual void, this is definitely for you. And personally, I feel like this pack is definitely filling a void. I love that we get some new sweatshirts and just what I would consider homey clothes. You know, those comfy clothes that we all wear at home. And in the mix, we get some sweatpants and shirts that have university colors and logos. And I think that touch is fabulous. We also get some cute skirts, some cute little schoolgirl type outfits, which is great as well. A couple of other things I want to touch on in CAS are tattoos and piercings. We get some small tats in this pack, and I love that. I love any tattoo additions, honestly. I think that tattoos can add a lot to your characters, and especially the amounts, the sizes, it makes a difference. They tell a story about a character. And these small tats that we got this time are another thing that I feel fills a void. We had a lot of larger tats that we got with the Island Living game, and there are just other tats, but these here give us those smaller tats that are so common for, you know, young college kids to maybe get as their first tattoo. So I love that. I do wish we could place more tattoos though. I'm always feeling like I place one and then go to add another and it takes away the first one I placed. So in my opinion, we need more ability to layer or stack tattoos. Nonetheless, I'm super happy that we got more tattoos either way, and these smaller tats are definitely a nice add. On the new piercings, I love them. And I think a lot of people love the piercings. I think a lot of people were really happy to see that we got them. However, I feel that they're too big for some faces, and I haven't been able to use the outer eyebrow piercings on a sim yet. And I've tried them on several. They're just not sitting right, not looking right to me. And from what I can tell, they can only be used on certain eyebrow shapes and look right. So not ideal in my opinion. I do like the others though. I do wish that we had both smaller and larger options for the piercings, but I like that we have different color options. One other thing that I don't like, though, at all, is that these piercings, the new ones that come with Discover University, are only available on everyday wear right now. And I'm pretty sure that's a bug, and it's a pretty big one, in my opinion. One that absolutely shouldn't have made it past testing. So I hope that they get that one fixed very quickly, hopefully right in the next update. So finally, I also want to mention that this pack covers several hairdos under both the male and female categories, and in my opinion, some are gender bending. So I'm definitely very happy with the hair offerings in this pack, and I'm totally in love with the pigtails in particular. I'd love a few more versions of pigtails too, actually. So if the Sims team ever listens to this, please, even more versions of pigtails, longer, shorter, more straight, curly, give us everything. I love them. They're so adorable. So anyway, that's Discover University CAS, and personally, I think it's for the most part a home run. I really do. On to the build and buy. If we look at the build section, we see this pack offers a sheer ton of different windows and doors. It's an excellent selection for the windows and doors. It is, however, light on flooring, but offers several different wall patterns, though I'm not sure that the wall patterns are patterns that builders will find themselves using often, but there's a healthy quantity of wall patterns nonetheless, and there's some roof accoutrements and things like that. The thing I would have liked to see more of, though, are floor patterns and more tiles in particular. I would like more floor and wall tiles, but especially more floor tiles. I keep hoping they'll give us some in a pack sometime soon. I feel that that's a void that we have. I feel like we're really, really limited on floor tiles. So fingers crossed that we get some sometime soon, but this was not the pack for them. In the build section, we get a great selection of dorm furniture, fabulous stuff. We also get another group of items that's a bit older and more traditional in style. Overall, I'm going to say that what they gave us in the buy section is truly fabulous. All of the items are great. But I do feel this pack is a little bit light on buy items. I would have maybe liked to see a second selection of dorm furniture. And in general, I just feel like the build items are stronger or maybe just more plentiful than the buy items for this pack. And as usual, I wish for more clutter items. And that's the case with pretty much every single pack we get, and it does not change with this pack. I feel like it's too light on clutter items. But moving on to the world, we get one new world named Brightchester. It's split into 3 different sections: the Brightchester University section, the Foxbury Institute section, and the Middle Living section. Now, each college has its own campus, and each one includes 2 multi-floor, we'll call them tower dorms, though the only utilizable area on each of them is the top floor. Then there's one smaller house-style dorm on each campus, and those house dorms are significantly more expensive, but have about half the roommates. In addition to the dorms, there's a commons area where clubs and students get together, and each college also has an art sculpture in its center that the rival college continually defaces, especially Foxbury. They are vicious about defacing the Brightchester book sculpture, but I digress. All of these dorms are uneditable in regular mode. You do have to use the BB Enable Free Build cheat to edit them, but you can edit them with the cheat. None of them allow stoves. If you put a stove in, it flags you and all of that. Personally, I don't like that restriction. I would like it more flexible, but that's just my take on it. So living on campus is an experience. You have quite a few roommates if you're in one of the towers. I think it's 7 at Foxbury and 9 at Brightchester. My girl lived and went to school at Brightchester, and I found that having all of those roommates meant that my sim didn't have any privacy, but she also didn't have to cook and almost never had to clean anything, at least when she lived in one of the larger dorms. When she lived in the smaller house-style dorm at Brightchester, there was always food around, but it seemed it got bad often. Maybe because there weren't enough people to eat it. And it would seem that no one in the house knew how to repair anything. At one point, we had no working toilets or showers. So there are some pros and cons to living with roommates, and even pros and cons to the number of roommates. I can't recommend one over the other, though. I think which you like will depend a lot on your play style. So I say try each and see what works best for you. But speaking of living off campus, when we get outside of the university campus areas, there aren't many lots to build and live on in this town. You've got 2 existing community lots, 1 bar and 1 library, plus 3 residential lots. 2 of those are multi-story houses that already have families living in them, and 1 is a lot with an empty house that your new Sims can afford. The only house/lot that your newly created Sims can afford offhand. There are no other empty lots for the builders to play with. Not that we can't tear down and rebuild or renovate existing homes, but as a builder, I would have liked more lots to build and live on in this world. Other than that, it's a good world that fits the theme. The weather is supposed to be based on England, I believe, so I suppose you can expect to have a lot of dreary days in Brightchester, though it didn't seem excessively dreary through the 4 semesters my sim attended university. The fall days were actually quite sunny and gorgeous with all the trees, leaves displaying a myriad of colors everywhere. It was quite beautiful. But finally, we get into gameplay. Now, gameplay is the part of Sims that is the least enticing for me personally. This is because I often feel that Sims gameplay is not challenging enough. It's not goal-oriented enough for the type of gameplay that I like to engage in. But this, I like this gameplay-wise. In fact, this pack may be one of my favorite packs from a gameplay perspective. And I think a lot of that is the time management element. No matter how you do it, how you slice it or dice it, whether you're working while attending school or if you're attending full-time, you're managing time either way, trying to ensure you fit in all of your homework, your presentations, your term papers. Plus, if you have an academic academic aspiration. You also need to make time to attend guest lectures, tutor other students, and advance your research and debate skills. So to say you keep busy would be an understatement. And if you're also trying to participate in some organization activities or some other things around your college campus, you have a very full schedule. And I love all this juggling of stuff for my Sims. It makes gameplay so much more interesting to me. Now, of course, your mileage may vary, and I think the biggest disappointment for some people anyway, with this pack from a gameplay perspective will be that there's no in-class gameplay. When your Sim attends a class or lecture or goes tutoring or sits in on a skills class or anything like that, it's all done in a rabbit hole. Now, from a personal standpoint, that's totally fine for me. I'm not one who likes to go to jobs with my Sims or anything like that, so I don't miss this as a feature, but I know some people will. And if actually attending and participating in a class is your end-all be-all, know that you don't get it with this pack. Now, I will say, as much as the rabbit hole thing doesn't bother me for standard attending classes or lectures or anything like that, there is one area where it did bother me, and that was graduation. When you finish your semesters, you get a regular message in your little notifications saying that graduation is coming up tomorrow, which, in my opinion, is a bit lackluster. To me, there isn't even confetti on the screen or little fireworks or just anything. Then when graduation does happen, your Sim changes into their graduation robes automatically, but you can choose to attend or not. Doesn't make any difference either way, whether you attend. It's just a rabbit hole thing. And then there's nothing to see. This was absolutely by far the most disappointing element to me. It's like I say, it's one thing for classes to be rabbit holes, but I really feel graduation should be a big deal somehow, not just a little notification you could easily overlook. Finally, there are a couple of other weird things with gameplay from my perspective, some odd things that I experienced. For instance, after one of the semesters, I wanted to work for a day to build my Sims needs back up before re-enrolling. And the game immediately threw my Sim out, forcing me to buy an empty lot for her and then having to re-enroll her from there. And then one of the other times where I tried to re-enroll right away, the housing that she was living in was not an option. It simply wasn't there, which strikes me as a bug. And also resulted in me having to restart the game from the previous save because I couldn't figure out in the end how to move my Sim back onto campus after she was re-enrolled and had kicked her off. So I feel the re-enrollment process needs a little bit of work. It needs to be a little bit more flexible on both time and housing, in my opinion. And you need a final warning when it's your last chance to re-enroll before it completely kicks you off campus, I'm thinking. And then there was this odd house joining thing that seems to happen when you first move into a dorm. And this confused me greatly when I first enrolled. In fact, you can actually experience my confusion with me in my last video. It seems that enrolling and choosing to live on campus in a dorm causes you to be added to an existing house and puts other Sims under your control. Now, this is going to be player dependent, but I didn't want that. I wanted to be in control of just my own Sim and have all of my Sims be NPCs. I wanted to be NPC interaction. But that meant that I just booted them out of my household. So it wasn't a big deal. I'm not sure if there was an option to eliminate them from the main enrollment screen. I could have missed an option there. It just confused me at the time. But if you do want the new Sims under your control, it does increase your balance sheet because you get money for the new Sims. So there is that. So all in all, that covers the 5 most important segments. I think Cass knocks it out of the park. I think Build offers us a ton of doors and windows, definitely well worth it. The buy stuff that's offered is great, though it is lacking in clutter and just in general is a little bit light on items, in my opinion. The world is good. The university campuses are very theme appropriate and make sense. I think that we could have had more lots to build and live on in the midsection though. So I feel that's lacking there. And then on gameplay, for the most part, I feel like gameplay is fantastic, but graduation really falls flat. So that is my summary of what I think of Discover University. And don't forget to take a look at all of the items that are available. Everything's shown in my other videos. And I hope that this was a helpful review of Discover University for you. And if it was, don't forget to hit the like button below, comment, let me know what you think. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, definitely subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications so that YouTube lets you know when I release new videos. And thank you all so much for spending the time with me today. I do hope to see you all back again next time. Bye now.